All right, so a little over some time now, we've been seeing more different changes happening in the communication ministry, and as a Ghana, our communication platforms. Now, this particular communication platforms I make, and I'm talking about in regards to our television, in regards to how we use data and as a telecommunication network like the Vodafone, MTN, Tigo, Airtel, Tigo, and even Glo. Now, one of the things are more reason everybody, including some of us, are asking ourselves, okay, is this where the country has really got into? Is the increase in data prices? Now, this particular increase in data prices, I must see an amount of be as that take us enough is enough, because we live in a country currently. Listen to this: water bill has been increased, light bill has been increased, transport has been increased. The last thing I go for the beji omini ombesha agrada na one na so for no omo komu date na for best no so I be issue data the action also, and also the government have increased it. So how did the government actually play a role in this, and how even is Kofi TV coming into this picture throwing warning shots to the communication ministry and Ursula Owusu? What is really happening? So let me really break it down. And like a cranny MTN at the revision of prices by revision of price or buy and now said they want to revise their prices upwards, which means they are going to charge more. So for those of us 400 CDs data worth of data every month, we used to get somewhere around 200 or more gigabytes. So many can say, that same 400 seats and 399, it is giving you 97 gigabytes. Very slow crap. Now apart from that, the idea costs and all other things, they have increased it by 15%. Whereas if you go to South Africa have rather decreased the prices for the consumers. Into South Africa, maybe you use 400 CDs editor data. Now first Ghana we have 299 gigabytes. South Africa you can even get over 500 gigabytes. South Africa have really, MTN South Africa have reduced their prices. That's the same thing which applies to MTN Nigeria. But over Ghana, it is something else you increase it. Now, according to Ursula Owusu, the Minister of Communication, and also the NCA, they are saying that they are doing this to kind of cripple how MTN is dominant. A bit Maka say MTN has the biggest market share in Ghana. It is the telcos are for Airtel, Tigo, MTN, Vodafone, and then Glo. But amongst them all, the dominant of all of them is MTN. And according to the NCA, they fear that very soon we are MTN are the biggest market shareholder in terms of the telco companies. They are afraid that very soon they will consume all the other One year, MTN will be a monopoly. Monopoly in the patches say ABS and Ghana there's only one company that produces electricity. MTN by the same thing. Said there will be only that company who will produce data and telephone calls network for Ghanaians. I will not have any alternative. So to break that thing, say one day MTN on be too dominant. Bruni Beka say we will not groom the devil. And as you groom Mombe Kesna Fidi Yanka say one betray the MCA and other things are taking steps. Say they will let these your friend is saying telco companies they will put in measures cripple or one say restrict you from expanding and becoming the highest or the biggest market shareholder in terms of the telco. And there's been constant I don't want to use the word threats, but there's been constant harassment and I say initiative. Let me use the word initiative from the NCA and the Ministry of Communication to MTN to constantly increase their prices. Now, within this year, MTN have increased their price like 3 times. Now, if you compare that to Vodafone has rather been consistently reducing the price. And Kofi Adoma, this is where he comes in all parties say these kind of things are air cost. It is rather not creating a competitive space for the telcos, because if there's an outside company like ABR, AT&T, they are very dominant in UK and in US, and they want to come to Ghana. They look at this and they stay the market trend and say, Ursula Owusu, you're very dominant. Ursula Owusu babe cripple. They'll be bringing in certain measures and initiatives to cripple us. And just last 2 days, we saw that people have started using Starlink. That's Elon Musk's Starlink in Ghana. And the NCA and the Ministry of Communications quickly said, using Starlink is illegal in this country, and if you are found and caught, you'll be jailed, and you can be found a fine of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis. So you could see, said this particular measure, no, they are not really willing to level it down. They are doing everything possible to cripple all the other companies. So Kofi TV and Kofi Adoma is saying, say these measures are NCA man, they are rather destroying it, because you can't create MTN buy from the days of space phone to Ariba to MTN, and the way they initiated a mobile money, am I normal be dominant now? The company is alive because they are what? A private company. They are serious, they bring initiative, and they are always thinking out of the box. Most of all, they provide quality service. So if you are not providing quality service, Ghanaians will shift to you. I like what one professor said, or say MTN increasing their price, or the NCA pushing MTN to constantly increase their prices, is not going to make users switch. Somebody like me, I still use MTN. So MTN, increase your prices need to even 1 gig for 1,000 cedis. I'll still use MTN. Why? Because I feel the quality match up to what I'm getting. Vodafone bad. If your customer service, now if you are lucky to get a customer service, you will catch yourself robot because Toby. You see, so the service doesn't match up to even what you are paying there. And at the end of the day, Kofi TV is saying that these things are more, and it is only going to disturb the public peace, and even people who want to bring private companies in Ghana, like the private telco companies. And Kofi TV is very, very, very much angry. Now, he did mention or see a whole lot of things, though. Me person me bought in Semnibia or can, yeah. What he said, no, let me read this. I'll say, after I condemned MTN Ghana on my Facebook page, many people called me to say that the NCA was the reason behind it. He said in one of his videos on YouTube, my research has verified that MTN can truly lower its rates significantly. But the NCA, that's the National Communication Authority, claims they want Ghanaians to switch to other networks like Vodafone and Airtel Tigo in order to maintain a balance in business operations, he explained. MTN is not the issue in Ghana. After all, if MTN has the lowest rates, has lowered its rates in South Africa, why is it still charging higher here? You are not acting as a fair regulator. NCA, this is unfair. Kofi TV retreated. So clearly, you could see, say, in here, people are now beginning to think out of the box. Now, if Vodafone really wants to be the biggest market shareholder, now the history of Vodafone, we all know, from a year one touch, okay, one touch, to a year, in fact, even started from Ghana Telecom, 10 days, early 2000, okay, phone boot beer, now the card that shame. Those are more shame 2000 and 2001. You don't know what I'm talking about. But the late 90s and the early 2000s, there was a card. And now my phone boot to be bring to quite now the card na shame. Then you click and click. I used to call my father more times using that. Now one more call SS Pope Jones. They used to call their father using that. So you swipe in the card, you dial and you call. It was Ghana Telecom. Ghana Telecom was everywhere. Even if you take it far from that, I remember the late 90s, from 1999, 1998. Them times I need a question mess near the other. There was this landline. And no qua. Na wadale na wa de udi twa nti eni unu obi wa abruchi wo so kasa nipa ne frɛ back ani abɛfrɛ bra kwame wanti fro na se udri mika udware wo so oba what I say, because Ghana Telecom was dominant. And remember they had these booths just say ukwani atro space phone, fax, telephone. Charlie, then times fax, telephone, then my ye no ma they are two glass into kwa na akwa then you go and ring. Then it came to the phone booth. So Ghana Telecom then was doing a very good job trying to think out of the box, trying to bring new initiatives, trying to think or be ahead of the game. So they brought in the phone booth. I don't know, it came with card. Then this a friend is a Ghana Telecom became one touch. One touch. I'm one touch crano and no see a cotton makasapa and who simpi. Cran after the almost so my tongue. A year. Se Ghana Telecom was a one touch on my time of Vodafone. No more time Vodafone's for so buy or more operative for some time, because initially Vodafone had about 70% of the shares. Ghana, because I partly private, partly state. So Ghana owned 30%. Vodafone owned about 70%. MTN, Vodafone, or operating in Ghana, no, they came out to say it was not really profitable. Now that was the time more companies were leaving their countries. The Ghana airport company was being sold in Yamanyama, so more companies were leaving. And Vodafone, as at that time, tried to diversify their shares. So almost 70%, they sold most of their shares. So now, government of Ghana holds about 70%, whilst the private individuals and the private shareholders from Vodafone accounts for about just 30%. So it explains, but the reason why Vodafone has not been able to sustain is simple, because they don't think out of the box, and then their services are poor, and that is exactly what Kofi Adoma is saying. And if you continue with this attitude, you will still sit here and slumber, because MTN Vodafone. In fact, if US come from China, China has the fastest internet in the world right now. And your 5G and your 6G, we are talking about 10G. And no, you should be downloading 40 gigabyte movies in 6 seconds. Bruni Nyansa. You see, Bruni who says our landline the far from fiber, it doesn't work again. Elon Musk or the satellite echo. And if you are listening to this, be happy, because 2024 next year, the third quarter, Elon Musk will be bringing Starlink to Ghana. Bruninians are thinking out of the box. So instead of saying we will allow these companies to bring more initiative, to be more, we will encourage them to enhance their internet near there, because 5G, Elon Musk, the Starlink, is higher than 5G. So if Starlink comes, Starlink will be ahead of 5G. So if you don't encourage these companies like the MTN and Tigo to really feel free and operate, it is going to collapse. Starlink will collapse them, and the future is this: very soon, so data it will be unto data, everything will be called credit. Everything will be data. So we'll be having phones, no more chips. It will just be data throughout. Are we thinking out of the box? It is so sad. It is these initiatives by Ursula Owusu, who now wants to be a running mate for Baumia. And as I lead in my catch, or your running mate MPP crumble in Yameba crumble Lusu. But Ursula Owusu be Lusu more, because clearly from the communication ministry to the information, she's done nothing. When she was in opposition, she was hungry. The way she was talking, as about Bessie Ghana, but Sisia and Oba Wabe main, and your bony dean or parliament or sit dang. Or sit dang about babbing or dear Noka. Ursula Owusu, Nensa Asunichi. We'll be giving you more updates as all of these events continue to unfold in our beloved country, Ghana.